We is live. I'm still doing my hair. Oh, I'm so tired today.
Are you planning on cutting your hair anytime soon?
I don't know how soon it's gonna be, but I'm waiting until it's long enough to donate.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just don't know how long that has to be. And I'm kind of growing attached to it as well. I quite like it. But then again,
Yeah,
I get very mixed feedback, and it's not so typical for a guy to have straight hair, long hair. Because I was already thinking, so as a straight dating guy, maybe I should just go for the standard short hairstyle.
Well, I think you look good in both hairstyles, so.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I look
really red. Is there
Yeah.
any topic you want to talk about today?
Life. I don't know. You?
Well, simply because it's more, like, as we talked earlier, recent to me is kind of like everything, not everything, but like work-related future in terms of like what would you like to what would you like to learn, what would you like to do, what would you like to change,
that's
everything
a perfect
related
fit for me as well.
Yeah, everything related to work, but like in the future. Future.
Yes. Oh, now I see my camera in the background. That's very relevant. From my side, I want to create more content.
So what type of content?
All the types. Like video, podcast, courses, ebooks. Yeah. Maybe a full-length feature film one day. I don't think so.
And let me ask you differently. So would you like to have something content-wise written as like in a text? Like, would you prefer that? Or do you prefer actually like speaking or like having a video, like that, a video chat or posting a video? Like, is there something you feel more comfortable or you feel more?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I need a mix. Like when I don't have much time, then I'm already in this impatient mood, and then I rather talk than write. But I would really like to have time to write. Yeah.
And is there anything in particular you would like to write about?
Both novels or like short stories, and also nonfiction stuff. Like what I'm learning and self-improvement and bringing ideas together. Yeah.
Nice. And my next question is so content, so creating content. So I guess you would like to work for yourself?
What, sorry? Too?
I said, I guess you would like to work for yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And do you feel like this is something that, like for example, working for yourself obviously has different steps than working for someone else, you know? Like I can imagine you have to be maybe more like organized or more like up to date with, like, I don't know, your finances, or being more like having more discipline to follow deadlines.
Yeah.
So would you say you feel confident enough that you could do or work for yourself?
Yeah, for some reason the confidence has always been there, but the skills just haven't. So in a way, I keep telling myself like I could have totally just be self-employed already. I could have totally made it by now, but I haven't. So that's the fact, showing me there's something wrong about the way I'm perceiving myself. Yeah. And a lot of it is to do with consistency. That's also what all the content creators will tell you if you ask them for advice is just show up every day, put something out every day. That's the key to success.
But so would you say quantity over quality?
Maybe, yeah. Like when you have to prioritize extremely, then when it comes down to it, then yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. But then there are other people who, I watch some analyses of YouTubers sometimes, and they put a lot of thought into strategy that often relies on just one viral video or things like that.
Oh, okay.
You definitely have to have come up with a path forward and follow it. Yeah.
Makes sense. And but like since you said you would work for yourself, does this also mean you prefer working alone or like working, just by yourself, or would you actually like to like work in a team, for example, like collaborating or whatever?
No, I would really like a team. Yeah.
A team?
Yeah. The main reasons for working alone is because so many companies are very old school and they're structured in stupid ways, I would say. And also, if you're coming in at the bottom, then you get told what to do. And I think one of the reasons I like content creation is because it's creation and it's therefore free if you're doing it yourself. So if you join a company as a content creator, then it might be that you get told what to create. And then I'm thinking like, then what is the point in having a creative job? I might as well be an accountant. Yeah. And yeah, and some of the things I don't like about old school companies are like that you can't work from home, from abroad, and you can't manage time in your own way. Yeah, a lot of restrictions that are not suitable for everyone. And
that is true.
Yeah, there's all the social judgment still of if you can't fit a 9 to 5, then there's something wrong with you, and I totally disagree with that.
Well, it's interesting that like what you just said about the 9 to 5, because I feel like especially in like nowadays, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but it kind of like becomes a trend that a lot of people say like 9 to 5 jobs are kind of like, boring or, like not useless, but like soulless and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I actually saw a video the other day on YouTube about a girl and she lives in, I think she lives in Sweden or Norway, like somewhere up in Scandinavia. And she said that she actually says that she disagrees with this trend that people say, 9 to 5 jobs are bad, because she says that some people, obviously not everyone, but she says some people really need this type of safety or this type of routine to keep, like, to make them feel safe.
Totally.
And she says that there's also like a type of beauty in, just having in a way like this calmness in the routine, like this is
yeah, definitely.
So
that's what I enjoyed most about having a full-time job, the 3 months that I did in my whole life. It was this feeling of like, oh, now I know exactly what my life looks like, and that's not going to change. And this enjoying the fact that it's not going to change lasted only a couple of months for me. But I totally understood why some people really value that. Yeah.
And what is your opinion on hustle culture?
Oh, that's a good one. For example, I've never watched Gary Vaynerchuk. I think I started a couple of his videos.
Is this a guy?
Yeah, this guy with the like beanie hat. I think maybe it's an older trend now.
Wait. What's his name? Gary?
Yeah, and just type V and he'll come up. He's also calls himself Gary V.
Oh, V. I hate that guy. I know who you're talking about. I hate that guy.
Why? Now I'm interested.
Because he's so full of shit. Like, I'm so sorry, but he's like, oh, like I saw an interview about him the last time, and he was saying something about like, oh, like he. Sorry, I have to go back. So I think an 18-year-old or 20-year-old messaged him, and they were saying something like, oh, I'm so like tired or like overworked because I have to do quite a lot of overtime, and I work so much and yada yada. And he basically like replied to him saying like, oh, I would give all of my both of my two legs and both of my arms to be in your age again, so I can hustle and make myself more successful. And I was like, who wants to be like without any limbs? You know, who wants to be without any legs or arms? Like, what the fuck are you even saying? And the way that he talks, or the way that he has like discussions with people, sounds very, to me at least, it sounds like he feels or presents himself as like, you know, superior, and he like his opinion is kind of like the thing that is the right thing, or I don't know. It's also just his vibe that I don't like, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Same for me. Just everything is exaggerated. It seems to be just wanting to. It's very visceral, which I mean, I think also explains the success. People react to emotion more than logic.
That is very true.
But yeah, I think success does require some of that, but you also have to look after yourself and be smart. Work smart, not just work hard.
That is the key word. Work hard, work smart, but not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
Yeah. I feel like I keep alternating between the two, though, and maybe that's why I'm not succeeding as I'd like to, is because I'm not having the combination. I'm like, either when I find a way to work smart, I'm like, okay, holidays. And when I get into this, like, oh, I want to work super hard, and I do it stupidly and just burn out. So yeah. That's why I've started also really believing in courses and coaching and all that stuff. I was very skeptical of all these new online experts, and didn't want to spend any money on their stuff. And I started to realize, like, yeah, okay, maybe each program is not as much as they hype it up to be. Maybe it's not the solution to all of my problems, but it's a great starting point, because otherwise I might have to read a lot of books to get that same knowledge. Or sometimes you get also individual coaching calls or things like that. I just think without knowledge, it's whatever you're doing is probably going to be less effective. Yeah, I don't want to be working stupidly anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would actually really love to educate myself more. And I mean, in a way, I already do it, because, so for example, in my current job, I work in the marketing department, and I actually, as you know, I don't come from a marketing background. Like, I come from a design background, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, even though I don't know if it's something that, like marketing, if it is something that I want to keep doing, like after I change, for example, after I change jobs, it's definitely, you know, a good skill to have for the future, you know, just to to be able to say like, yeah, you know, I have some knowledge about it. But then there's like so many other areas that interest me, and I'm like, I would like to have more hours in a day so I can, you know, research more or dedicate myself more to like other areas that I would actually like to, you know, get more skillful in, or more knowledge about. So, for example, like I would really like to learn more about UX design. I would like to learn more about decoding. I would like to learn more about psychology, you know. There's so many things that interest me, and that I'm sure would be a great asset for your resume, you know. But it's just like, where's the time?
Yeah.
And not only that, not only time, but also like, where is my motivation, you know, because you have to do work, you have to do like other things, you know, at home, you know, have other responsibilities, and then at the end of the day, sometimes, I'm going to be honest, I'm just too lazy.
Yeah.
So
time is just everything. I
yeah.
think. Have you watched Limitless?
I think I watched a few episodes a long time ago. Mm.
Oh yeah, there's both a series and a TV show.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. A series and a film.
Yeah.
And I watched the film first years and years ago, and it totally blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, that is totally possible, and it super inspired me. And then I watched the series much later, and it was just a reminder and got me to try to put that into real life. But I think one of the things you can learn from watching this fiction, where he has access to his whole brain and builds his amazing life, is that, well, that learning knowledge is everything, but also that success is exponential. Yeah, when building any sort of business, if you can, the earlier you can remove your time from the equation, then the more time you have to learn and live. And so I just picture the dream life being this cycle of you learn something, use it to build something that doesn't require your time, and then you can spend your time learning something else to build something else that also doesn't require your time. Yeah, then there's no limit to how many things you can put out there and have them running, and just keep learning.
That's true. Yeah.
It's so much harder to do in practice, and yeah.
Oh yeah, everything is harder in practice.
Yeah,
and I don't know about you, but I also sometimes have the problem that if I'm not automatically good at something, I get demotivated really quickly. And that also comes obviously to like skills. It's like if I'm noticing that, for example, let's say I want to pick up video editing because I've never really done that, and I think it's interesting to know. But if I'm not succeeding in, like editing a video in the first day I'm trying it out, I'm like, it's too difficult. It takes too much time. It's so frustrating. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then in retrospective, I regret that I stopped after one day, So, because obviously everything takes time, but it's just sometimes the mindset, it's like,
Yeah, definitely. I think my problem even more often than that is not realizing what I'm not good at so that I can work on it. It's having too many blind spots. That's why also a team is really useful, and that's why I started trying to have do a lot of co-working, have accountability buddies or people that I talk to about what I'm doing. Yeah.
Is there any type of skill you would like to learn or to focus on more?
Yeah, I'm working my way through learning how to build a business, and that's like one massive big fat skill. It's like saying I want to learn music, not just piano or something specific, but yeah. And one thing that seems very relevant is selling. Well, I heard this really cool concept that every step of getting a client is you have to sell every single step. And that was super cool because he said, when someone sees an advert, then you have to sell them the click. You have to convince them that there's a good reason why they should click. And then it goes to the next step. They're on the landing page. You want their email address. It's like now you have to sell them whatever it is that you're offering to send by email. And then when they open the email, you have to sell them the next, like each step is the same principle. And so you just apply and apply and apply the same thing until you get to the actual sale where they have a product or a service and you get money. And I was like, oh my God, mind blown. Because I kept thinking, what do you put into all of these steps and how do you create value, blah, blah. And you only have to actually create value at the very end with the thing you're offering. And every other step is just selling. And I was like, oh, I don't like selling.
Yeah.
But then again, when you find the right people who want the thing that you're offering, then you don't really have to sell much because they will it's like a magnet.
That is also kind of true.
Yeah, they want what you have, and if you get the price right, then it's no biggie. Yeah. So that's my current skill development.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's somehow equally super exciting and super stressful.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And like you said, a lot of it is mindset.
Definitely. Maybe mindset is a topic we can talk about next time. I think that would be super interesting.
Yeah, let me write that down. Because if you forget, then it will be forgotten. And what about you? What's your current learning journey? Have you started on these things you mentioned, like coding?
So, as I said earlier, currently I'm focusing on marketing, simply because it's required in my current position.
I thought you were coming away from that.
No. It's like I'm currently learning it. Like I'm learning it since a few months now, since 3 months. Like I had, like for example, today I had to figure out how to work or how to make best use of Google advertisement, because we put out Google ad, and I tiptoed a little bit around in Google Analytics, and all of that stuff, like SEOs, and all of that. Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely interesting, and like I said, it's a good asset to have, but I'm not sure if I want to keep doing that, in my next position. But what I would actually really like to do or to deep dive into is 2 things. The one is psychology, and I think we talked about this before, that I'm super interested in that, and I would like to, I think I already have a good base knowledge, but definitely, getting like my branches out. And then the other thing would be, I can't decide. There's so many things. I think the other thing would probably be, I don't know if I can say coding, because it's not coding in terms of like coding like Python or C++ or anything like that. It's more like coding with HTML, because I would really love to build cool websites or like make cool animations with
so
coding.
web design or web development, one of the two.
Yeah, like I already did a little bit of web design in my previous job, but not to an extent that I can say I'm confident in it, if it makes sense. So yeah, I would say definitely more in web design, and also in kind of like motion graphics.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, these are new areas that I would like to try out. And if it comes to enhancing my skills, like that I already have, then it would definitely be illustrations.
Okay.
Because especially in the last months, I also had to use Illustrator more, and I really feel like now I kind of like got more used to it. But there's definitely way more that I can do with Illustrator. So
yeah, so you're slowly becoming an Illustrator pro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can say pro, but yeah, I'll get there.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I also had this like romanticized view of, or like dream life of just having a tablet and traveling the world and drinking coffee and drawing beautiful stuff.
Yeah, right. It's like this typical kind of like, I don't know if I can say millennial or Gen Z thing, but you have your iced coffee, like slurping on it, like, and then you're like on your little laptop, Mac laptop, like.
It has to be a Mac with a lot of stickers, for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, unfortunately, I'm the typical stereotype. I have a Mac with stickers, and I'm drinking iced coffee usually when I work, like in a cafe. So yeah.
Yeah, and then my inner self-development engine is like, oh my god, you would be running on sugar and caffeine, and you would have no stability, and where is that going to grow, and blah 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 blah. Like, shut up, just let me have my Tumblr fantasy. And I can't draw. That's probably the most important part of this.
Well, the thing is that actually a lot of designers can't really draw. I mean, I know that I'm not the best at like drawing per se, but the good thing is about digital drawing is that obviously you can correct any mistake that you make. So it's easier because it's literally, you have an ugly sketch and then you just, like, how you say it, like drag a few like pixels and then automatically it starts to look way better. So
Nice. Yeah. I feel like that's what it's like being a professional at anything.
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of people think that, especially when it comes to certain jobs, like for example, design, they think like, oh, you're just moving pixels and you get paid for that. Like I could do that. And I'm like, no, I get paid the amount of money because I learned how to do it in 5 minutes or like in an hour in school. So
Yeah.
you're not actually paying me for the time, you're paying me for the amount of work I put in that I can do it in 1 or 2 hours.
Exactly.
So
it's like the Picasso story. He drew something on a napkin or something, and he gave the same answer. Yeah, also like people say, oh, why are piano lessons so expensive? Getting tutoring for maths and English is so cheap. And I'm like, yeah, because everyone learns maths at school. If you can speak English, then you can just speak English. But you know how long it takes to become a classical pianist, how many hours it took, and how much I had to pay for lessons and blah blah. Yeah,
that is definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked earlier about how we both like remote work.
Yes.
Why is it so hard to find nowadays?
Yeah, right. You would think that, especially like after Corona, it would be way easier to find jobs remotely, or you would think that a lot of companies would now, offer 100% remote. But I feel like, people usually don't like change. And I feel like it's something, it's kind of like human nature. So the thought, oh, I froze. Oh no.
Oh no, I think I'm alone in here. I'm gonna pause the stream if that's possible. I think it is. That makes sense. Let's see if Marina's saying something. She says I froze. No, you froze. Oh man. Sorry about this. Whoever's watching. Maybe. refresh the page. I hope that this doesn't end the stream, but if it does, thank you for watching. See you next time. Here we go. Oh, that is my hair. Okay. Mine is showing up.
Hörst du mich?
Hello? You're back.
Oh, ich kann dich ganz schlecht hören.
Oh, we're still live, by the way.
Sorry.
But
Yeah, unfortunately, my Wi-Fi, I think, is not. Yeah, it's my Wi-Fi. I only have 2 lines out of 4. It says network connection 5 out of 10. So yeah, it's definitely my. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
no worries.
I guess that's the problem of being across the country.
Yeah. You mean?
But I mean,
You mean that you live in an area with bad connection?
yeah, and maybe I don't know if it has something to do with you starting the stream from Germany. I don't know if it affects it in any way, but yeah, I think it's also my area, or more like my personal Wi-Fi.
Okay. That was the maybe the two of us just suck at looking for remote work. It's not that there isn't.
That is true. I mean, I also, like I said, a lot of people don't like change. So I feel like a lot of corporations don't want to change to remote work because it would mean maybe, new rules and new habits and new this and that, and they don't want that because change is scary.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
And how would you use your privileges if you had a fully remote work?
Oh, I would definitely would love to, work from abroad. Traveling there and there. And I also really, I don't know why, maybe it's also like millennial thing, but I really love working in cafes. Like I prefer it way more than offices. I don't know, I just love the atmosphere. But it's also because I really love the cafes here in Japan. They're so nice. So way nicer than any type of office, honestly.
Yeah, maybe we should do like a super European early morning show with you in a cafe at lunchtime.
Oh yeah, that's true. We could do that.
Maybe they have the Wi-Fi.
That is very much true.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we should wrap it up today.
Yes, I'm really sorry about my Wi-Fi.
Don't worry. I also wanted to mention at the beginning, I forgot that I am having a low energy day anyway, so I'm not the best conversation partner.
No, you're doing great.
Happens. Yeah. Thank you for taking the lead, asking a lot of questions.
No problem. My pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, then maybe we can try having a phone call.
Alrighty.
Bye, everyone.
From here. Bye.